All right, everybody, this is Trendy John from Simpler Trading. I hope everybody's doing well. I just got back from Nashville, came straight into the office. Boom, here we are. I can't wait to get ready for you guys. Bitcoin conference right around the corner. Just to be transparent, or just to give you a heads up here, I may be attending that with John. Well, I'll probably see John there. We're not going together or anything like that. But I am very interested in going there and see what's going on. And if I do that, it's probably going to be around Thursday, and I'll return again on Sunday. So, Nashville is amazing. Whoever lives there, you're so lucky. I feel, I have some of the best experiences, best food, best music of all types. Man, you're lucky if you live there. So hats off to you guys if you're there. I mean, it's crazy. Don't get me wrong. It was wild, but we try to stay away from the wild. We had a little bit of fun. But anyways, I'm very happy to be back here with you guys, talking about the 21st into the 26th. First thing we want to hit up right now is this week's major U.S. economic reports and Fed speakers. And remember, I'm a supply and demand trader, right? That it, to me, listen, I don't care what you're doing. I don't know, it doesn't matter how long you've been trading. Just know that supply and demand is a great asset to your trading. If you don't know anything about it, come and check us out. It's like $7 for a trial. You know, thousands of people can't be wrong. So just come and check us out and see what you think. All right. You get to see the proof of concept. Not only do we have transparent alerts over here that come straight from our brokerage account within milliseconds to our members, but we have some amazing traders in the room who are already trading tonight and doing well. I love that. All right, so this week's major U.S. economic reports and Fed speakers. Why is this important? Because they're catalysts that can increase volatility in the market that pushes price to supply in a faster fashion. So we're already finding the zones. We teach you how to do that. And then when price gets there, we react, we take action, and that's what we love about trading, okay? All right, so Monday, July 22nd, none scheduled. I don't see anything on here, nothing to really report, but I do want to say something, and you'll see this later. I believe that we're going to see a little bit of volatility. I believe it's going to come in forms of political, right? Talk, and it's probably going to come through social media. It'll be things that you're not prepared for. It'll be quick reports that are being dropped, and you'll see sudden spikes or drops in the market. So, when we come into market conditions where we see a lot of volatility, one of my rules is trade smaller but use wider stops. And we'll talk more about that during the week. So just know that that is kind of my expectation at the moment. All right. Tuesday, July 23rd, existing home sales, S&P Flash, U.S. Services PMI. Wednesday, new home sales. Thursday looks pretty busy. GDP, initial jobless claims, durable goods, advanced retail inventories, and wholesale inventories. And then on Friday, personal income, PCE year over year, core PCE, and consumer credit coming in at 10 o'clock. And then coming on over here, looking at earning whispers. So if we just kind of come right over here, I want to show you guys. I use X for this, and I've been using their website, or sorry, their handle here on X for so long. I absolutely love it. It's easy to read. And what I like to do is point out the names that I'm interested in. Perhaps I trade them. Maybe I trade them into earnings using some of my spread trades that I teach you guys, or perhaps, I wait until after earnings, but I love the volatility that usually comes in after names report. Some of the names that I'm interested in right off the bat: Spotify. I love this name. Tesla. You guys know I'm a long-term holder here, done really well in Tesla this year. Alphabet, Google. What's going to happen there? Next, Visa. Already have a position of Visa as well. Texas Instruments, they always tend to not do very well. So I'm interested in see what they do. I probably won't trade it, just interested in see what they do. And then over here, I did start a trade in Chipotle. So we'll see if these guys can finally find some buyers after their forward split. I think a lot of traders anticipated that traders would come in, but you never know what you're going to get. I do think it's at a bargain right now. I think it can go lower. So what I've done is scale into the position, and I've already sent that out to you guys to kind of show you where I like to add into the trade. And this is a long-term trade for me with equity, unless something significant happens and I get the ability or I get the chance to be able to trim some of this in the near future. IBM, always want to know what's going on there. VXTX, definitely interested there. Las Vegas Sands. And then moving on into Thursday, American Airlines, Hasbro, Honeywell, and I might miss some here. Sam, Boston Beer Company, Southwest. So again, airlines, I want to check those out, see how they're doing. Bristol Myers, Triple M, and that about sums it up from what I see. I feel like I missed a couple, like Lockheed Martin. These are all names that I'm interested in trading. All right. Next thing that we want to be looking at is the bigger picture, and I like to use TV or Trading View, one of my favorite platforms to chart on, if you will. So a couple things that I use this for on your phone. It has all my indicators on it. I could use the PMZ for intraday trading. I could use the trendy turn signals to get into a trade. But I especially like it because it seems like ever since Schwab kind of took on Thinkorswim, we kind of get some issues, and if those issues, cause a delay, I'm able to quickly come over here and see what's going on in the market. And you guys know if you have my indicators, you also have access to the indicators on TradingView, which is really, really awesome. So you kind of get, you get both of these, which is really cool. Now, what I like to do here is talk about the bigger picture, the quarterly. Again, I was away on Thursday, just came back just a few, maybe an hour and a half ago or so. And what I'm looking at, when I'm talking about this is for my traders who are in long-term positions, right? And they're looking at, and we are analyzing what we see for the rest of the year. This is very important. Now, a couple things that I noted here, topping wicks, okay? This tells me the volatility and indecision out there in the market. Earnings season is upon us. That makes sense to me, right? That we would kind of come in, digest the bigger moves that we've been having this entire year. So a little bit of digestion. And then, boom, we're coming right into political news that is most likely going to start ramping up on X and, TV if that's what you watch over the next several months. So get ready. Again, high volatility. Maybe, something to think about is smaller positions, wider stops so that you don't get scared out of your positions or that you don't get whipped around. Because what I know from my experience, everything that we use still works in these environments. It's just that price moves faster, a little bit more violent, and you don't want to get stopped out and then watch things go in the direction you knew they were or that you really thought or you were convicted they would go in. Um, that's just a bummer. So again, I found the best way to approach that: smaller positions, wider risk. Okay. Next thing I'm gonna be looking at is the QQQ, and I put the same notes in here. We see that there's a cloud. We see that we have a top and wick. We came up, we smacked the target that I gave you guys several months ago, and now that we're pulling back, I believe we digest here. We get a bounce. We see a bounce tonight already. We're up about 100 points in the NAS. ES futures up about 17 points or so. Right now, these are just relief bounces, and I'm going to talk to you about that here in a few minutes. Okay, so just stick with me. Nothing to really talk about. You could just, look at this. This is the same exact note that I just gave you on the SPY. All right. Next thing I want to be looking at is going to be the dollar, the DXY. So instead of looking at it from a quarterly perspective, I want to bring this down into a weekly. And this week, I'm actually going to focus on the daily. All right. And you can see that we have this EMA cloud. This is called the Trendy cloud. And we came up exactly where I thought we would bounce. And then I also said we would expect the market to drop. We did. We did really well on the SPY hedges. Matter of fact, we got rid of those SPY hedges on Friday. Those things almost went up 100%, and that's a pretty awesome trade when we're talking about we got into these things for 6 and they basically got to 12. They came down. I sold them at almost 70% or $10.44 a contract. So, did I let go of it right in time? I told you guys I was looking for a big catalyst over the weekend. Matter of fact, this was the catalyst I was looking for, was an official of Biden dropping out. And I didn't know how it was going to react. But one thing that I thought about in the market is that we had a significant pullback as far as 2024 is concerned. And I thought it was time for us to bounce. It just all really made sense to me. And so far, it's working out. But we can wake up tomorrow and be down as well. Okay. So I'm not like overly excited at the moment. On the dollar, these are the levels I want to talk about. If we get above the cloud, I'd be concerned. But we also have supply right there. So what I should say is if we break above, 105 and a quarter, then things are starting to look a little ugly in the market. But it looks like an H pattern. H patterns when we come in, we find demand, we come up into the EMA cloud, and then we just break down. I call this the hope pattern. So, bulls that are bullish on the dollar, they're hoping it continues up, but it just kind of rolls over and gives you that lowercase h pattern. Next thing I want to be looking at is the TNX on the 10-year. Basically, on this, my expectations for this week, we're in the cloud. I expect a rejection here real soon. So my overall sentiment coming into this week is sideways to down. I don't think we see anything significant here. I think we just see sideways to down. Okay. So again, this looks like the dollar. I would be concerned if we start to break above that EMA cloud or start to get above 4.3. And as long as we, continue to the downside here, that's what I want to see is us back in this green box down here. All right. Next thing we want to talk about is the skew. If you don't know anything about the skew, go out there and Google it. It's amazing. I have an amazing process and levels that I use. It's been working for a very long time. And, I don't want to bore you, but if you listen to all my broad market analysis over the long period of time, you know exactly what we're looking for. It was perfect. Again, we hedged. When the skew hit up here on the SPY, we sold. It came down here to a little bit of support. I'm looking for the market to bounce a little bit, but again, a relief bounce. I'll get into that here in a few minutes. All right. So again, skew was telling me to be cautious. I was cautious. I did well. Thank you. I'm happy. Thank you, skew. We'll keep using you. Moving on down here, the next thing that I want to be looking at is the fear and greed index. It's at 49, so it did drop. It was around the greed. It pulled back. It makes perfect sense to me. We're coming into, again, earnings season. Things are going to start kicking up. Uh, Politics are going to be coming out, and the market's going to get volatile. And right now, it's anybody's game. You know what I mean? This really makes me feel like we're going to have catalysts coming out of left and right field. You're not going to expect it. It's going to be something weird that somebody says, and they're going to use it against us. So you better be prepared and be watching for volatility. All right. Futures. This is where it gets interesting for me. This is what I love to talk about because this is my baby. Bitcoin futures up 815, man. If you haven't been following us on that, that's been looking amazing. I took some coin in Ashley's account last week. Whew, that baby moved. I added into Riot. I kept adding into Riot. Our last ad was on Friday afternoon. And so far it's up 815 points. I'm not like overly excited. I'll get to that chart here in a minute. Oil futures pretty flat around 79.80. I feel like it's been there for a week or two. ES futures up about 17. That is the same as about $1.07. $1.70 in the SPY, and then over here, gold. Gold's been looking great this year, amazing. For long-term traders there, those things look good. But let's get to the charts and talk about what I'm expecting from the ES futures. So let's go ahead and open this right here. This is your weekly chart. We'll go from a top-down approach. Last week's candle, ugly, right? But boom, I smell opportunity. The only thing that I would tell you is this 9 EMA is kind of lurking below, and a lot of times the market likes to come into those 9 EMAs and reset. All right, and it kind of trips traders up, if you will. We've been in this condition to buy the dip, and if you kept trying to buy last week, you probably got hurt a little bit. But here's the thing: big picture, let's stick with the trend. Just know that it's sitting down here. My overall sentiment bullish with caution. I need to see new pivot highs this week to become super bullish again. In fact, we have to, at a minimum, technically speaking, Trendy Fibonacci. We have to get over the 38.2 of last week's drop. And if you look, it's around here around 56.12. Then we have the 50 up here at 56.33. And then we have the golden fib at 56.54. Boom. Easy to understand. Our bear channel is around that 56.12. I need to see prices above there, but look out. I believe 56.33 and 56.54 could serve as a nice area to get short again. I'll assess when price gets there. I'll fill it out if we get there, and I'll let you know what I'm going to do there. And obviously, you'll see my trades. Okay. The next thing that I want to talk about, price came into the inside and up formation. This thing right here, everything that I teach you about. So we came in there, we bounced. That's what we're seeing right now. Again, it's a relief bounce. Relief bounce, reminder, it has to get above the 38.2 because if it doesn't, typically what you'll see on a lower time frame, we just kind of wrap up, hit that 38.2 or so, and then go right back down, and you get that hope pattern. Let's go ahead and go over here to the daily. We have new triggers. This is where you're going to pause this, put these on your chart, but also, okay, also don't forget to like this video. All right. Like the video, please, if you like this content. Just take a second right now, hit the like button. I hope you appreciate these. I think they work very, very well. So know that. So the short trigger is up here around 57.03. Give me 1 second. I want to check just a couple things. So if we know it needs to get above the 38.2, that's going to be the 56.12. So let's go ahead and I'm not sure what happened to my resistance line. So let's go in here and make one really quick. We just go over here, hit the yellow. That's not very yellow, is it? I mean, it's pretty close. 56.13. Let's do some dots. We'll make it like a 4. We're going to write the word resistance in here. Okay. And then you hit this thing right here. It says do not show. Hit it on the right. Boom. There it is. And I want this level right around that level so that I understand. And that's 56.12. It doesn't have to be perfect, just very close to it. So right around there. Okay, so that's our resistance for right now. You can also see that it came down into a trendy edge. These trendy edges are finding demand and supply. I'll teach you all that in the room. So again, nice little bounce here. There's a lot of confluence, okay? 4-hour charts, this is what it looks like. You'll notice we came into the trendy edge. We're bouncing. Again, relief bounce till proven otherwise. This is the area up here where I have some structure. And you can see we have that big red box, and it is also confluent with the levels that I told you that we could see some resistance into to this week. Okay, 4-hour supply zones to the upside. If for some reason we break down and we hit this 30-minute zone, it's been tested many times. I wouldn't expect it to work. I'd be actually kind of shocked if it did. If it breaks right through, we're coming down here to 54.30 and 53.94, 5400. All right. Next thing I want to do is we're going to come over here to the NAS. Check out the NASDAQ. Again, up about 94 points, not that much. Let's get to the weekly so we can talk about that. This one's the same exact way, meaning that as of right now, my overall sentiment is bullish with caution. I need to see new pivot highs this week to become super bullish again. In fact, we have to get over, that's right, you heard me say it, the minimum, the 38.2, which is 20,170. That's when I'll start getting a little bit more excited. But just like the ES futures, this 50 and 618 are going to be a great area, most likely to short again. Now, when I say short, I'm not saying that, it's going to do something like this. It could, but I'm just saying that this is an area I would be skeptical about. Make sure you put some alerts there so that you understand. And you guys know I've taught you fibs, and you know exactly why. There's a lot of confluence here with the 5618 with the inside and down formation. So therefore, that is caution. I do like, and I'm very happy that we came back on the 9 EMA on the NASDAQ, whereas the ES futures did not do that. But we know that the NASDAQ likes to lead. So it's already did what it needs to do. Sometimes when things like this happen, we'll get a relief bounce and we'll go sideways for a bit. ES might come in, and once they get that synergy, that synergy, meaning the ES did the 9 EMA, the NASDAQ hit the 9 EMA. Now we have some synergy in the market, and they start to push up. So again, If I haven't said this enough, relief bounce until proven otherwise. So don't get overly excited just because you see a little bit of green. I actually, like I said, caution, please, yellow flags here this week. I like to say that, I live in Florida, I live on the water. I like to say that I know what I'm doing when it comes in here to teach, to coach you in trading. I'm like your lifeguard. You come to the beach here in Florida, you've never been here, there's riptides, there's currents, sometimes the waves are nasty. You got to be careful, and that's my job to let you know that. All right. Coming on down, let's go ahead and get into the daily. You're going to notice here, same thing. I got resistance, I have triggers. Go ahead and pause, put these on there. Just know where these levels are. And again, don't forget to like this video. Next thing we're going to be looking at is the 4 hour. I have some zones down here. 2 hour zone has not been touched yet. It's fresh. Yes, we could get a relief bounce from here, but if this breaks and just like the ES breaks, I expect this a lot further down. Matter of fact, I'm just gonna throw this out here in case anything ugly happens. We could resort all the way back to 18,660. I hope that I'm able to take some profits before then and lighten up my load. But again, you guys know, always check what's in your cart. I'm at a point where I'm comfortable. If something really bad were to happen, it wouldn't be fun, but I'm comfortable. I wouldn't lose my entire account. And as of right now, my overall sentiment is bullish with caution. I told you what we need to do. Please look for those levels. Don't worry about what the news is saying. Technicals, don't watch news, but be aware of news like economic data that's coming out and so forth. Okay. All right, guys. I really appreciate you. Can't wait to see you in the morning. Have a nice night, and I can't wait to trade.